So, so today's class I have started with the Python and Raspberry Pi. So now some few lecture I will discuss, and in upcoming days I will bring the various topics related to Python and Raspberry Pi. So basic, what is the basic thing? This I will discuss in coming 4 lectures. Okay, and future I will discuss. I will continue this topic in a various way. Um, in previous lecture, in previous lectures we have already shown that how I can write the IoT program using the Arduino. Okay, so here coming lecture also I will show how we can connect the Arduino with the cloud. This thing I will show. So now with respect to Arduino, we can also use the Raspberry Pi. So if you want to go for any kind of the image processing, image detection, anything, and military communication, you can see normally the Raspberry Pi. Used to use the Raspberry Pi. So Arduino with Python, this I have already discussed. So normally the Python is mainly compatible with the Raspberry Pi is compared to the Arduino. Okay. So what is the Raspberry Pi? The Raspberry Pi, it is the one of the so it is one of the single board computer. Okay, so you can see in the laptop also, if you open, there will be the motherboard. Okay, it's like a same way that this is the motherboard. Okay, so you need to operate everything. If you need to install the Raspberry Pi, you will have the monitor. Okay, you will have the one monitor and desktop. This thing will require. Okay, so it is a single board computer. It's like a computer only, the motherboard of the computer, which can run on the Linux. Okay, and entire application can be executed with the help of the Raspberry Pi, that board. If you want to execute some IoT application, everything can be installed, everything can be executed by this Raspberry Pi. Okay, so the Python, that is mainly integrated with the Raspberry Pi. If you open the Raspberry Pi IDE, so whatever the language you have to write, this language, that will be the Python language. Okay, all of you know that Python is normally user-friendly programming languages. So you will get a less syntax error if we use the Python. Okay, so in various in the school, college, in the scientific research normally and communication, I mean security, security purpose and the communication, Python, the platform that is normally used. Okay, so normally the Python is normally pre-installed in that Raspberry Pi. If you open the Raspberry Pi, you can automatically check that there is a sketch, there is a Python option. Okay, and normally this Arduino, this Raspberry Pi board. Okay, this board normally accept the wireless communication like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, as well as the Ethernet technology. HDMI port is also required if you want to connect the monitor with the Raspberry Pi. Apart from that, it will have the LCD and some low energy E-Link and the display system also. So Raspberry Pi, that is the 40 pin GPIO pin. Okay, the 40 pin. If you see the Raspberry Pi in the next slide, I will show. If you see the Raspberry Pi, there will be the 40 GPIO pin, general purpose input output pin. So if you want to connect any kind of the input and output, any kind of the external device which will be acted as the input and output, that can be connected through the 40 pin GPIO pin. Okay, in all there are the various kinds of Raspberry Pi. In all Raspberry Pi board, the 40 pin GPIO pins are available. So it is like Arduino board, but it has more features. Okay, you can think about it is a if you Arduino, you cannot tell Arduino is a computer, but you can tell Raspberry Pi is a computer if you connect the Raspberry Pi with the monitor and keyboard and mouse, everything. So this is the Raspberry Pi, kit. You can see this is the Raspberry Pi kit. So there are the various versions in Raspberry Pi available in market. This is the standard one. You can see here the general purpose input output pin. These are the input output pin. If you want to connect any external device, you can connect through this input output pin. If you want to give the VCC and the ground through this input output pin, you have to connect the VCC and ground. And this is the Ethernet port. You can see this entire one is the Ethernet port. So so for the Arduino IoT application, you need the internet, right? So through this port you can connect the LAN wire. Okay, so this port you can connect the LAN wire. So these are the two USB ports. You can see these are the two USB ports. These are used for if you want to connect the keyboard and mouse. So if you want to use the Raspberry Pi as a computer, you need the keyboard and mouse also and monitor. Okay, so keyboard and mouse you can connect through these USB ports. Okay, so now come to the HDMI port. So there are the two HDMI ports. So why the HDMI port is required? So if you would like to connect the monitor, then for this purpose you need to use the HDMI port. So this HDMI port you can connect the HDMI cable with the monitor, and this is the power supply connection. USB power you to require, and micro SD card slot is also there. You can connect external SD card through this slot. Okay, and there is one thing you can see, the camera module port. So what I told that you can use for the security and the military application, the Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi, so for security application you need to capture the some unidentified objects, okay, an unknown person. For capturing those information you need to connect the camera through this camera module port with the Raspberry Pi. I think this diagram is clear somehow. Now I'm going to the next slide. So whatever port number I have told, this is mentioned in this slide. General purpose input output pin to connect the Raspberry Pi with the electronic component, any kind of the external component which can be used for the input and output port. So this is for mainly the wired network or LAN connection. Apart from that, the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection is also are also available in Raspberry Pi that I have discussed already. So two USB ports are there. So for connecting the keyboard and mouse, camera module for capturing the images, and HDMI port. Okay, for connecting the external monitor with the Raspberry Pi. So here, uh, if you see the diagram, I have told the GPIO pin. So if you zoom out the GPIO pin, you can see this diagram. Okay. So all the pin numbers are mentioned here. You can think this is, suppose here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This internal the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this up to 40. So these pin numbers are the normally it's not the GPIO pin number. This is the normal pin number. Okay, the physically connected pin number. This is, suppose this is pin number 1, pin number 2, pin number 2, pin number 3, like this way. But whatever GPIO pin number, if you want to numbering the GPIO pin number, this is different for with respect to the physical pin. You can see this is the GPIO 2 pin, but this GPIO 2 pin 2 number is mentioned with the pin number 3. Okay, so suppose if you connect the, and suppose LED with GPIO 2 pin, right? So in the program, which configuration you have to do, whether you will write the 3 or the pin number 2. So for that, some packages and some functions syntax you have to use. Okay, for mentioning this pin number, you have to use the one syntax, one function, and for mentioning this pin, for enabling this pin number, whether the Arduino program will understand, how they will understand the which pin number I have mentioned, whether the 2 means it is GPIO 2 or it is the hardware pin 2. Okay, this how they will understand. So for by writing the some code, they will understand whether the pin number 2 means the GPIO pin or the physical pin. So the suppose the GPIO pin 0 and 1, this is the pin number 7 and 28 pin number of the board. Okay, GPIO pin number 27 and 28 you can see here. Yes, right. In this way you can mention. Okay, So here you can say GPIO pin number 1 is the pin number 28, GPIO pin number 0 is the pin number 27. Okay, these two is mentioned here. Okay, so you can, for connecting any kind of the input and output device, you can use the any kind of the GPIO pin, right? So now if you in the another version of this pin configuration, so this pin number, yellow color pin number is this is the these are the GPIO pin. Okay, this is the not the board pin. Okay, and so you can see these two are the for VCC power supply 5 volt, and these black colors are for grounding connection, and these two are for 3.3 volt power supply. Okay, and other pins are the GPIO pins. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4. Pin number 3 of the board is equal to GPIO pin 2, like this way. Okay, this is the pin number 40 of the board. Pin number 40 of the board is the GPIO pin uh, 21. Okay, so like this way you can identify which pin you have to connect. So how many two 5 volt power pins are there, and two 3.3 volt pin are there, and other black circles are associated with the ground power supply. And here you can see two pins are there, white color. This is normally for the memory connection. So already I have told her. Now, if on how can you send? Suppose if you connect the LED with the GPIO pin 2, okay, any GPIO pin 2. So you have to send the logic 1. How can you send logic 1? So if you connect this pin corresponding to the 3.3 volt power supply, then you can send the logic 1 to the through the with this particular pin. And for sending the logic 0, you have to send the 0 volt. Okay, and for input also. For output, normally you're sending the data from the Raspberry Pi to the external device, and for input we are collecting or reading or collecting data from the external device to the Raspberry Pi. Okay, this thing I have already discussed when I have discussed the Arduino. Uh, Apart from that, there are the one configuration. This is the pulse width modulation. Okay, so pulse width modulation pins are also available. Pin number 13, pin number 19, pin number 12, and the pin number 18. Okay, so you want to send the analog. You want to send the analog data, or you want to receive the analog value. Okay, so for some purpose, I will discuss in the upcoming lecture. You need to use this. You need to connect those external devices with the PWM, the pin number 18, pin number 19, pin number 12, pin number 13 GPIO pin. Okay, so if normally the analog write, if you want to use the analog write or analog read, for that the PWM pins are used, and for the digital read, digital write, other GPIO pin you can use. Okay, so there are the TXT and RXD2 pins, GPIO 14, GPIO 15. These 14 and 15 pins are connecting with the some cable through which you can send the serial data, or you can receive the serial data from any other external device. Okay. So these are about the GPIO pin configuration. Normally PWM pins are important, and other pins anywhere you can connect the digital pin, any source which will be acted as a digital write or digital read. And apart from that, these two are used for normally the serial communication. And some pins are associated with the 3.3 power supply, 5 volt power supply, and the ground power supply. I hope it is clear for you. And next lecture, I will continue with this thing, and I will show some code how we have to write the Python code on the Raspberry Pi. So please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And if you have anything, if you want to write anything, you can write on the comment section, and so I would like to discuss those things. So thank you.